Stephen Saad, thank you so much for joining me. A robust set of numbers for the 6 months to the end of December 2023. You must be very happy with the performance of Aspen Pharmacare from a share price perspective, stealthily, really recouping ground, and you're on firm footing now.
Yeah, it's been a journey, Bronwyn. You know, you've lived the journey with me for a long time, and we took a really big bet on sterile manufacturing. Sterile is what you put into eyedrops, syringes, vaccines, um, and we thought the world was moving that way some time ago. And 6 years later, we'd spent 10 billion rand without any return, and people look at you and say, "Wow!" I remember the first year the analysts look and they say, "Oh, you say you're going to yourselves, wonderful, we like it," and then your ROIC's down or whatever they use, ROE. So what do you expect? We've got bricks and mortar. We're building more, and we did that for a long time, and up till even this year, we've lost 1 billion rand just in manufacturing, and then the value in that platform is now being demonstrated, Bron. It started with COVID, and that was in Bush terms, I call that a mock charge. There was a mock charge, and after being promised billions, but the market has really opened. There's big play in vaccines, but a bigger play in the obesity market. I'm sure you've seen the Mounjaros,
Mounjaros and the Ozempics, and this is where it all is happening. I've always said, Stephen, in my next life, I would like to come back as the owner, as the CEO of a pharmaceutical company, but specifically in this space. So tell me a little bit about these developments and what it means for the future of Aspen Pharmacare.
So the two companies that are leaders in that space, Lilly and Novo, between them have got a market cap of over $1 trillion. And it's largely on the back of where they will see obesity going to. They see obesity market going to between $100 to $150 billion globally. So that's the market. And from an Aspen perspective, we're looking to see how can we be involved in this market because they use sterile products. And what you saw was Novo paid, I think it was 16 billion euros. I can't remember the exact number, to just buy a contract manufacturer that could make sterile products. Of course, that contract manufacturer was busy with other things. So this market's being displaced. And, we've said we've got no less than 8 billion rand of contribution, which largely turns into EBITDA if we fill all our capacity. And so far, we're sort of halfway. And that's the process that we're in now. This year, we'll get our first 500 million. Next year, no less than 3 billion. The following year, no less than 4. And we're hoping with the squeeze now in the next few months, we have an even bigger push on that manufacturer to reach capacity. And then, our returns become very substantial on the money invested.
What does it mean for the Africa story? Because you could basically corner the market here, couldn't you?
So from an African perspective and from a global perspective, there's such short supply that it's really about what stock you can get. And because these products are all on patent, it doesn't take a lot. There's 1 billion people that are obese, according to WHO. I saw the latest thing, and so could probably benefit from a drug like that. Now, right now, they've got premium price and a small market, but it still runs into billions. But what you are going to find is that as supply becomes more plentiful, as generics come into the market, biosimilars, you will get a situation where that market just keeps growing. From a manufacturing point of view, it's great. You're only earning a very small portion anyway, but now you've got a lot more in the market. But I think from an African perspective, from a South African perspective, we will be launching Mounjaro. There will be stock constraints. We're not sure how much, and depends how much we can get in and out from a global level. But I think it will be a good start until, like RVs start expensive, and then in time, generics come in the market. We, in this instance, in a very unfamiliar role of having the branded product only. So for now.
And what are the analysts saying? I always maintain, I remember in my early broadcast days, one of my CEO guests said to me, Bronwyn, it's so much easier to run a business on paper, as the analysts do. But when you're in the game, as you explained earlier, in terms of COVID and how quickly things changed up and where you were positioned and where you are now, is the market getting excited about the weight loss drug story and saying that this really is where the potential wealth creation is when it comes to Aspen Pharmacare?
I think that it's still early days for them. So when you go back to COVID, as I said, you take 1 billion doses times $7 or $8, it was $8 billion. It was a massive number. I think the major difference between that, which was, yes, we promise you, the whole world promised, yes, we'll do it, and then, sorry, that all disappeared, to this, which is something a lot more tangible, because before we even talk about obesity, we've got 3 or 4 really large products, which are called take or pay. What take or pay means is that you can't promise and not deliver. In other words, if you say we want 100 at $1 and it's $100, you'll pay for that $100 of capacity, even if you don't use it. So that's what a take or pay contract that we use means, that you take it and we'll bank that money regardless. Sort of got to learn. You don't want to learn lessons twice, so that's it. So from that point of view, I think there's a high degree of comfort of what we've got, and I think people are waiting to see what shakes out for us within that obesity market now, because it might not be the obesity products, but it might be what the obesity products displace. So, for example, we're making in South Africa insulins for Novo, but they go on the same machine as Ozempic and Wegovy. So we're making, and that is for Africa, all those insulins, and it'll be a low price. So, sometimes there's dysplasia too, that there's displacement rather, which we can take advantage of.